What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, October 11th, 2018. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the Reverend Jared Petty.
Doki doki, greetings and felicitations, my friend.
Wow, that was a good clap, Kevin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks, Kevin.
Also cool.
That's why it sounded so good. Sorry, I can't see Cool Greg's hands. You know what I mean? And that's how he likes it, I hear. he doesn't want anybody to know what he's up to over there. Yep. Jared, how the hell you been?
I've been really well.
Yeah?
I'm having a good week. I got to do a fun review for IGN. I always enjoy running reviews. Got to play some Luigi's Mansion. That was good.
Okay.
I've been doing that Red Dead Radio. You might have heard of that.
I've heard of that.
Had a lot of fun with that. It's just, I felt productive this week.
That's always a good one, yeah.
Kind of chill. What about you, Greg? How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah? Okay.
Stressed out. A lot of work, a lot of things going on here. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The showcase, the normal days, everything else happening.
Anything I can do to help?
No, you already do it. You came in here, you put together a lot of the Games Daily today while I had to go move to Gamescast, of course, this afternoon. We got Sam from GameSpot coming in. Watch live, patreon.com/kindafunnygames for $1.
When do you sleep?
I sleep. Midnight is my bedtime.
Okay.
At midnight is when I stop playing Assassin's Creed, and I'm like, I have to go to bed now. And I get Porty, who's usually already in bed with Jen. I pick him up. He's asleep, but I take him back outside, make him walk, then put him to bed. Then I'm in bed 12:30ish. Last night, terrible night's sleep.
Ooh.
I've been fighting a sickness. It turns out Andy's the one who's been sick in the office. He's been hiding it up until today. Today is when
why
he
come in sick? Why come in sick?
No. Hold on a second. He's the one that's been sick since Monday, and now he's gotten Andy sick because they keep kissing.
I've heard it both ways.
Okay, what I want to know is why are either of you here sick right now? Because I ain't got time to get sick right now.
No, you won't be, probably. I mean, here's the thing. Here's what I hate. Is
we
when
would have
somebody
had a lot more Jared if he would have just hosted this week and you would have stayed home playing Assassin's Creed. I mean, being sick.
Yeah, playing
Here's
Assassin's
the
Creed
thing. All right,
being sick.
my sickness on Monday wasn't worth staying home for. It was that I had a sore throat and I was tired.
Yeah, but what if you bring it to everybody else?
I won't. And here's the thing. The problem,
it's not that it's debilitates you.
The problem is when somebody comes in sick and says they're sick, everybody gets it in their head that they're going to get sick, and then they get sick. It's
I've been
self-fulfilling
sweating
prophecy.
nonstop
That's
for the
not how
last 4
sick
days.
this-
I don't know.
You've been sweating nonstop for the last 26 years. It's your life.
Greg, I'm not sure
I'm
you know how
28,
medicine
you
works,
The
but
first 2 years you didn't sweat.
thinking
know
you're going to
that
get
kid.
sick is not what makes you sick. Getting a disease in your body from someone
And
else
here's
near
the problem,
you is what makes you
It's just
sick.
going around. It's just going around.
In
Oh
the
my
rooms
God.
that sick people are in.
Oh, here he comes,
there we are.
everybody.
Look at
the
this.
champ,
Old
the
man
champ
Scarpino.
struggling.
It's so cold in here.
You're not sick at all.
I do feel great.
Yeah, exactly. You look great too.
Champ doesn't get sick.
Everybody, I just want to call it to you. If you're an audio listener, you have to go watch
Yeah.
this episode or the Kinda Funny Morning Show to see Nick in this great Henley.
You look good.
He looks like Nathan Drake.
You smell like a man.
I smell like is that bad?
No, you just smell like you've seen things.
Yeah, well, I smell like
Well,
right now. I probably smell like-
Jared Petty has definitely seen some shit. All
I'm
right?
wearing women's deodorant today, and I'm drinking coffee. So
Which one? Secret?
What? I don't even know the brand. I just I couldn't find mine, so I grabbed the wife's.
I understand.
You know, you ever done that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I like women's deodorant. I think it smells kind of. I like the kind of flowery aroma.
Well, as somebody who just like destroys the deodorant, you know what I mean? Like my body just eats it up and spits it out.
Does
I
it?
sweat through my armpits. I can't stop it. I've thought about it for a long time when they were doing the Secret commercials. Strong enough for a man, but made for a woman.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I need a strong enough for a man deodorant. But then I'm using like.
Did you ever use it?
No.
Okay, so
Well,
I've used-
I went up to, you're up to the certain dry at that point. And like, if that can't help you, then you're just godless and there's nothing can happen.
I've used Secret, and it works great. Kind of a fan.
But do you have a sweaty armpit problem?
No, not particularly.
Yeah, I do.
No, my stinkiest factors are like maybe.
See, it's not a stink. It's a sweat. It's a
sweat.
It's a wet
well,
thing.
I get sweaty, but not in San Francisco. Everywhere else I've ever lived, humidity makes me
Sure.
sweat.
Oh, yeah,
There's
yeah.
no humidity here, so I don't sweat so much. Even when it's hot, I don't sweat so much here. But if there's even a little humidity, my whole body just overcompensates. Then I'm gross. Also
If you didn't know,
hairless.
ladies and gentlemen, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show, kindafunny.com/KFGD with your questions, comments, concerns, and bad PSN names. And now a segment until PSN names are fixed forever. We're saying goodbye to bad PSN names. Keep those coming. If you submitted, as many of you did, dozens of you did, keep on submitting them. Or I guess I should just start a doc where I hold them, but it was a very busy morning.
Greg, may I let you know that I was a little disappointed. I was so glad you were here for that announcement, but I was a little disappointed that Sony did not hold out that announcement to the Kind of Funny press conference.
I know.
I feel
know.
like that would have been a perfect fit.
I agree too. I don't understand why they're not trying to make the Kind of Funny game showcase a bigger deal than it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't
feel
understand
like
it.
they could help us out like so many developers are with exclusive announcements and release dates and crazy things.
Would have been a perfect forum for it.
Yeah. I got a good one yesterday. I'll tell you about off the air. One of the games that's going to do something that's going to be fucking pretty awesome for this thing.
Excellent.
Then watch the show live as we record at twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. If you're watching live, you have a special job. Go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and listening on podcast services around the globe.
Excellent.
And what I want to point out about Andy getting sick, right?
Yeah.
Is that how would that happen? And how is that Andy and I are rarely even in the same room together. We're not using the same dishes. I don't know what this kid. He stays up all hours of the night streaming.
If this is airborne disease, you just have to be within a closed space within like 50 feet, man.
And I was sick on Sunday, meaning that no, I'm not contagious the next day.
That's not necessarily true. It depends on the disease. Different diseases work different ways. I don't know if you know this, Greg, but all
not a
little colds
disease,
that we
it's a
get are not the
cold.
same. That's a disease.
No,
if it's a virus,
you're
if it's a bacteria,
crazy.
they all spread different ways.
Cool, Greg, is a cold a disease?
I'm agreeing with you.
Thank you, and he's my doctor. Housekeeping for you.
This explains so much.
Extra Life 2018 is November 3rd. We'll be streaming games and shenanigans for 24 hours as we raise money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. You can join the team right now and raise money on your own or donate at kindoffunny.com/extralife. So much fun shenanigans planned for that one.
I still haven't gotten a calendar invite for that. You know
We
what?
don't do
'Cause-
calendar invites. You
No,
know?
you don't. Actually, I think you and I had a meeting scheduled this week.
We
at
did,
some
and
point.
then you booked a demo right after this.
Yeah,
and I was
okay.
like, meh,
So-
whatever.
well, I never got the invite to the meeting either.
Well, that's horse crap. I don't know why I didn't want to say horse shit.
Well,
for some
I know
reason.
you put something in with
I
my
put you
email
on. I
address.
put your
Yeah,
Gmail
but
address.
I haven't gotten into any kind of notification.
Did you get the notification today that I shared the Gamescast document with you?
Yes.
See that
Yes.
it doesn't add up, Jared.
It doesn't add up.
I don't know if you don't understand Google Drive, I'm not sure if I can understand you or believe you on diseases.
How about
'cause
you guys just put me on the calendar?
I don't want you to see what I'm to. I don't want you to see what Kind of Funny's doing.
You don't want me to see?
No, we talk a lot of shit about you in calendar
Well,
invites.
that
You know
makes
what I
sense.
mean?
I'm not on the Slack. Don't put me on the Slack. I don't want to be on the Slack.
You don't want to be on Slack? I wonder,
Absolutely
right?
not.
Jared,
Yeah.
we're adding a second housekeeping item here.
Uh-oh.
Specifically about you.
Yeah, thank you for that. So Red Dead Radio is a show that I do. You've probably heard about it here before. It's doing really well right now. Hey, imagine that. As the game's about to come out, lots and lots of people watching Red Dead Radio. First, I want to thank the audience for making that happen. But second,
Hard stop.
yeah.
A lot you say you've probably heard about Red Dead Radio. I bet a whole bunch of people haven't. Red Dead Radio is your weekly podcast about Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, it's a weekly and sometimes maybe even coming into this season, more than weekly podcast about Red Dead Redemption, where we talk with folks who have played the game, had access to it at all, etc. It's a lot of fun. I'm very proud of it. You can find it at reddeadradio.com or on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/hotblipandajump, which is a terrible name for a YouTube channel, and I should probably change. Anyway, our YouTube numbers have kind of exploded. And because of that, I'm really in the position now where I can offer valuable advertising to people. But because advertisements are usually bought months in advance, I'm not in the greatest position for that because we've just now grown large enough that that's practical. So I'm turning to you, ladies and gentlemen. If you are a developer, a publisher, the creator of your own channel or podcast or show, if you have a product to sell, if you make Stetson hats, if you have anything that you want brought to the attention of the world that is ethical and or moral, give me a ring at mail@hotblipandajump.com or mail@reddeadradio.com. That's probably the easiest way to reach me directly. You can also check out my Patreon because I'll be adding a tier there about that. But just shoot me a mail for now at mail@reddeadradio.com about advertising. I think you're going to get a very good CPM. That's cost per 1,000 views out of me compared to where you may look some other places. Because I need advertising right now, and the kind of in-show reads that we do here, you can reach a lot of people through me right now, and you can do so for cheap.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Final piece of housekeeping today. We're brought to you by Brooklyn, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. Oh, man. Okay, cool, Greg. You started early, very quiet. You just stopped mid-time.
By the way, Greg,
Yeah.
it might be important to mention that despite the fact that Red Dead Radio is a big deal, today we are, in fact, brought to you by Brooklyn.
I said that.
You said that?
Oh, yeah. That was the last
missed
piece. It's okay. You were coming off the high of your pitch. I understand.
I missed it.
3 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, we were well into the 400s, the 300s of the show. I forget. And I want you to know this is the first time ever I have this Kryptonian key from Smallville, right? It's a prop replica. You remember it from Clark's spaceship.
Yeah.
Dropped it on my computer today as it started to print the rundown, and for some reason, it's on both sides.
Now it's on both sides now.
printed
This
on
is how
both sides.
technology works.
So we're saving paper now.
This is amazing
and
stuff right
all
here.
thanks to the Planet Krypton.
Look at
Number 1. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is more anticipated than Red Dead Redemption 2. Ha! This is from Rebekah Valentine over at GamesIndustry.biz.
I don't believe it.
Though Halloween and Thanksgiving still stand between consumers and the biggest holiday sales, it's nonetheless the season for retailers and analysts to anticipate holiday gaming purchases. Nielsen, for its part, has released a ranking of the most anticipated games of the coming holidays, showing Call of Duty Black Ops 4 just edging out over Red Dead Redemption 2 in a survey of nearly 6,000 people. The survey looked at metrics like awareness, purchase interest, and consumer ranking from 82 different games due for release between September 1st and December 31st of this year. Based on those metrics, Nielsen assigned a rank to each game, with multi-platform titles combining individual platform rankings for one final score. At the top of the multi-platform rankings is Call of Duty Black Ops 4 with a score of 99, just 2 points ahead of Red Dead Redemption 2. Just behind them are Fallout 76 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, both with ranks of 90, and below that are a number of sports titles capturing holiday interest: FIFA 19, NBA 2K19, NBA Live 19, and WWE 2K19.
All I can say to that, Greg Miller, is that I was briefly part of a Nielsen family, and that should give you an idea of how accurate the Nielsens are. Because I filled in my book once, and I'm pretty sure I never mailed it back to him.
Okay.
The end.
I understand why you're so bitter about this. Obviously, you're a Rockstar sellout. You have a Red Dead podcast.
You know
and
what?
You now clearly see you should have done a Call of Duty Black Ops 4 podcast.
Unapologetically, Rockstar sellout. Absolutely. But no, I'm glad for, Blops makes a lot of sense. This is a Call of Duty has tremendous reach and has for many, many years. And the buzz around this game is very positive.
And what I feel like, I'm not going to say the first time. No, I'm going to say it. First time in a long time where I've heard it this positive.
Yeah.
Where I from our audience, from Andy playing the beta of Blackout, from going and doing that IGN esports thing and talking to Golden Boy and a bunch of the UFC fighters who had played Blackout, like everybody's like, this is awesome. I can't wait to get the final version of this game.
That said, I think that when people are approached with these two games, people that get eyes on both of them, I will be shocked if 8 out of 10 of them don't opt, if they're forced to play one or the other, to play Red Dead.
So where do you think the discrepancy lies here in this? Is it just the 6,000 people they got or more into Black Ops?
No,
or do you
I
think it's more that Black Ops and Call of Duty has the name Call of Duty? So people are ranking things, they know more about that, they're going to do that.
I think some of it is ranking things they know more about. I think some of it is positive buzz. I think some of it is that I'm being partisan and opinionated, where this is based on data.
Sure.
And I'd rather just have things be the way I want them to be.
Sure.
But also there's lies, damn lies, and statistics. That's for this is a slice of a moment in time, and Rockstar has tread very quietly on their marketing around this. I think that, how about this? I have a show that went from, like 6,000 views a week to 60,000 views a week in like a week.
Yeah.
That's the degree of sudden interest that's popping up around Red Dead right now. I have a feeling that Rockstar decided to just kind of let the season go and then dive all in at the last minute. I would be surprised if they didn't take this poll right now. We wouldn't see a very different story.
Interesting. And I think that's part of it too, in the fact that Call of Duty has had more public beats so far, right?
Yeah.
There have been multiple betas. People have actually played this. They had it. Whereas this is still Rockstar doing it in a very traditional way of, cool, IGN's played it, you've played it, Nick Scarpino's played it. Influencers, people who you go to for opinions have played it, but you, the gamer, haven't played it yet. Greg Miller has not played it yet.
And the moment, I think they trust that the moment you play it, you're going to run and tell 20 of your friends they have to play it.
Screaming on Twitter,
Every human being I've talked to that's played this game and had a long discussion with, and oddly, Nick and I have talked very little about this. Which we need to really sit down and do at some point.
Nick understands that you don't like him, and he avoids you.
Well, I mean, why would anyone not avoid Nick?
Good point.
I mean,
he just came in here.
The self-proclaimed champ that he is. I mean, really.
I mean, he's got the title.
What ennui. What ennui. What hubris.
He's a monster.
Yeah. I agree.
Jared, here's my question for you. As somebody keeping your finger on the pulse of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
How much is it going to sell? Is
You
it
talking
going-
about year one, or are you talking about?
I'm talking about
lifetime?
however you want to wrestle with it. Is it going to, in 24 hours, put up GTA 5 stuff? Like,
No.
it's $1 billion or whatever?
Not in 20. It's not going to sell like GTA 5 in the first 24, but I think over 3 years,
Yeah.
I suspect we'll see sales of this game into the 40 to 50 million copy range.
Okay.
Yeah.
So many people talk about it, and I put a tidbit here a couple days ago on the that was a tweet that got referenced out. That I put it here because I thought it was interesting to talk about. I put it in the Roper report as, hey, this is a thing, and then I saw Alana talk about it, which I assume means you can talk about it as well, or talk to it, I should say, of this thing that if you turned off the mini map when you had conversations with people, they would give you directions based on locations and landmarks of like,
Yeah,
go there.
I didn't experiment with that, so I can't speak very directly
Alana's
to it.
tweet about it was, that's there with the mini map on. You're just paying more attention now that you have to.
That would be my suspicion. I play with the mini map. I never turned it off except to observe that you could turn it off.
Yeah.
So I have no direct experience with that, but I don't see altering the game based on whether the map's on or off. That doesn't make sense to me, so I don't think they do that.
How many hours of Red Dead have you played?
I've only seen a couple hours and only played probably a little over an hour.
Do you Alana tweeted out recently, and when I was talking to her on the Games Daily, after the GameSpot thing, talked about like, the game's blown me away, and every time people expectations can be as high as you want, it's going to is that true? Is this game the second coming here?
It's the best demo I've ever played.
Okay.
And I played a fair number of demos.
Yeah.
I've been doing this a long time, and I've never played a demo that made an impression on me like this. To put it shortly, and I've said this on my little show, it was a Super Mario Brothers like experience. When I was 6 years old, I went to the arcade for a birthday party, and there was a Super Mario Brothers arcade machine there. I'd never seen an NES at this point. I popped a quarter in, I played it, and the world just kept going. And I was like, this is a video game. This has all the things I recognize about video games. But it's like nothing I've ever seen. I go on, and there's undergrounds, and I can swim, and there's clouds in the sky, and just the world. And compared to every other game I played before then,
Yeah.
it had all the trappings of video game, but it was something completely new. Red Dead is one of those few video games that when I played the slice, I got that feeling again. That this is another moment where all these things are video game. I recognize them.
Yeah.
But this does it so much differently and so much better than I've seen before that I think that it's another one of those before and after moments. Very much the way God of War was for single player focus gaming.
Okay.
I feel like Red Dead's going to have that effect on the way we think about open worlds. It is a very different take than Breath of the Wild, which also was a moment like that.
Sure.
We've had a lot of those this year.
Yeah.
More than we usually ever get. Red Dead has managed to create a tapestry of immersion that mostly gains strength from what it takes away. Like the middleman between you and the AI illusion is largely pulled out.
Gotcha.
And that's what I love about it.
All right. I can't
What about
wait.
you? You interested?
Oh, I can't wait. You
Yeah.
kidding me? Like that, and that's the thing is, it's what Kevin and I talk about. Like I said, we're doing Gamescast today. Patreon.com/kindoffunnygames for $1. You can watch live, or catch it on Patreon.com/kindoffunnygames tomorrow, or get it for free on Monday. I'm sure it's going to come up there, and I want to talk about Assassin's Creed and how Assassin's Creed has rocked me on my access of like how I'm playing that game and how I'm ingesting that game and what that game is to me in a way that I think Red Dead is going to as well, which then gets terrifying if I have these two sprawling, never-ending games in front of me.
Yeah, I think it was the last episode of RDR. I was talking to the Gamecast guy or GameSpot guys.
Yeah.
And they played like 5 hours of it. And we sat down, and I believe that was where we had the discussion. Like, Assassin's Creed is such a video gamey game.
Yeah.
And Red Dead is such a non-video gamey game, and yet they're big open world games, and they kind of contrast the two design philosophies.
I want to talk about that, for sure. But we'll do that on Gamescast. For now, number 2, Splatoon 2 is getting a sweet Octoling 3-pack amiibo set this December. This is from Zhiqing Wan at Big Twinfinite.
Big Twinfinite.
Of course, that's just Twinfinite, but Jared, whenever he puts stories on here, all come from Twinfinite, so we call it Big Twinfinite now, because they're obviously in his pocket, and holy shit, Twinfinite, if you don't sponsor Red Dead Radio.
Oh, please, give me a call, Yami.
The Splatoon 2 craze continues as Nintendo has just announced that they'll be releasing an Octoling 3-pack amiibo set later this year. It's great timing, too, as the Octoling expansion was released just a few months ago, allowing players to play as an Octoling instead of a squid.
Can I be an Octoling traveler?
I like that.
I play
why
Octoling
have
Traveler.
they not done that? Why have they not made that?
Just patched it in there,
crossover?
like you just play as an Octoling and Octopath Traveler.
The amiibo can be used in the game itself, of course, and this will allow players to get new gear and cosmetics to show off during multiplayer sessions. The Octoling amiibo pack is set to release on December 7th of this year.
You know, I like amiibo, but I hadn't realized that they've pretty much at this point just become cheat codes. In a lot of games. It was amazing. It was Sam Claiborne pointed that out to me.
Was it Metroid was like the first big one of that, where it unlocked a new mode and everybody lost their minds?
I don't know. I was playing Luigi's Mansion for review, and I tried a few amiibo out, and I was like, well, wow, this makes me an unstoppable juggernaut of death. It's kind of amazing, and I like amiibo. I'm not. Not like coming down on it at all. But I think if you want to make games easier, that's fine. I think the little figurines are really cute. But I've only ever bought a couple of them. Are you big on amiibo?
Oh, God, no.
Yeah?
I don't have any. I mean, there's some in the office, as I look to the walls, probably behind us somewhere, of like stuff they've sent us. But again, I just fall into that weird camp of just like, I didn't grow up as a Nintendo kid, so I totally love my Switch and I love Nintendo now, but I just don't have the affinity of like, this is something I want to celebrate and put down, because Mario's awesome, I just don't have
So
a
would
thing
you buy
for
a
it.
tiny Alex Kidd figurine?
No.
That's good.
At these days, what I'd be looking for amiibo is the dry bones.
Dry bones.
Give me
okay.
a dry bones.
That'd be
amiibo. Come on,
amazing.
you know what I mean?
amiibo.
And when they are like, hey, here's some Octopath Traveler ones, I'm like, oh man, let's do it.
If you want to mail me 100 Yarn Yoshi amiibo, like I could never get tired of those. Those things are
they're very
adorable.
cute, yeah.
I love those.
Yeah.
I love the Yarn Yoshi ones. If you were going to take a Sega Master System character and make an amiibo out of
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters, is that a character?
Yeah, Ecto 1, sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Actually, that'd be a really cool
Right?
amiibo.
I know,
Actually,
right?
one would be
Yeah,
a great
come on,
amiibo.
right? Yeah,
That's
exactly.
wonderful.
Exactly.
You tap it and you automatically get the best car at the beginning of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, which wasn't
Is
the
that how it
Ecto
works?
1. So stupid. Well,
No, it was like the sports car,
It was the
right?
green one,
Yeah.
which is like weird. It's stupid, but not stupid. Of like, all right, cool, you can buy the Ecto 1, but it's a shitty car. But like, wait, why wouldn't the best car be a souped up Ecto 1?
Have you ever had David Crane in here to talk Ghostbusters with
I
you?
talked David Crane at IGN. He came through and did a thing. That's when he signed my cartridge.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wondered,
yeah.
you should have like the Ghostbusters cast, just you and David for like an hour.
I'd totally be down for that. I don't know if he's down to talk about it.
He's a cool dude.
And a similar thing, I wrote a note here to myself. Have you ever, for your Red Dead show, have you had Christian Cantamesa on there?
No, should I?
Yeah, Red Dead Rider. He's been on Gamescast. You should get him on there too.
Sold. Okay, let's make that happen.
Okay. Number 3. The Fortnite Android beta is now available for everyone. No invite required. This news is from Matt Kim at USGamer.
Gotta love the USGamer.
You got to. Fortnite Android beta is now available on all compatible devices. You no longer need an invite, just a capable Android device to go play Fortnite on the go. Fortnite on Android was first released on a Samsung Galaxy exclusive, with invites rolling out to select compatible devices. Now, any Android device that meets the system requirements can play Epic's massively popular Battle Royale game without an invite to the beta. Here are the recommended system requirements. OS, Android 8.0 or higher, 64-bit. RAM, recommended 4 gigabytes or higher. GPU, Adreno 530 or higher. Mali-G71MP20. Mali-G72 MP12 or higher.
You're not big on the
fuck
processors for
yourself.
Android phones?
Go fuck yourself, PC people and Android people.
What?
You know
What's
I
wrong
mean?
with that?
Because I just put it on the iPhone and it either works or bricks my phone.
Yeah,
that's what I
that's
want,
right.
ladies and
It
gentlemen.
works or breaks
They
it.
put out a new iOS on 7 and maybe it fucks my entire life up, but it's there and it's done. As a reminder, Epic has its own launcher for Fortnite, foregoing the Google Play Store. This did, however, leave a safety vulnerability in Epic's in-app launcher, which Epic quickly fixed. You can download the beta through the Fortnite website.
Yep. Hey, my phone will run this.
You gonna jump on it?
Yeah, maybe I will.
I forget. Where do you come down on the Fortnites?
I think Fortnite is a very good game and historically significant and something that deserves just as much attention as it's receiving right now.
But you're not playing it often.
Not a lot. No,
Yeah.
I right now I'm in a position where I'm writing more about Fortnite than playing it. So yeah, I'm
What are
working
you
on
writing
something
about?
right now.
Oh.
I can't say it, but yeah, I'm
Is
working
it
on
for you or
something
somebody
about
else?
that. For somebody else, I think. I actually both. So yeah,
double dipping.
Fortnite intrigues me. I think Fortnite is historically extraordinarily significant for unique reasons. There's never been a game like Fortnite.
Yeah.
In terms of what the effect it's having on our industry. And when I say that, I'm not being hyperbolic. I don't mean that it's like bigger than anything else. That's not at all what I mean. I mean that there's never been a game that has succeeded for the reasons Fortnite's succeeding before that I can think of.
Sure.
And that makes it really interesting to me. But in terms of playing it, it's not something that I particularly interested in playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I like your historic perspective. I agree, obviously, right? I mean, it's so bizarre, and I know we've talked about it before, to be living in this time where it's just everywhere. Everyone's playing it. All ages are playing it. It's people are doing the dances when they make touchdowns on Sunday.
Right.
Like,
But I'm far more intrigued by the reasons that's happening, which are unique compared to other video games.
what do you think your reasons are?
It's free. It's kid friendly. It runs on anything. It's crossplay compatible. It has entered the cultural lens through the era of social media in a way that almost no free game has ever had that opportunity before. It arrived at just the right point for cross-platforming.
Yeah.
It is designed to be adult-friendly, kid-friendly, and kid-permissive, i.e. an adult looks at this and thinks, oh, my kid
That's
can
fine.
play that.
Yeah.
It is an inherently social game designed around squatting up or playing against people that is also aimed at school children and therefore allows you to encapsulate that culture. And because it will run on a freaking toaster, many children have access to it, and they don't have to buy a darn thing, but they can buy everything. That hasn't really existed before. Even Minecraft had an upfront price. Even Minecraft was not as socially oriented as this. And I think that all those things combine to create something that has, we talk a lot about blue ocean, you know, I think that this industry has been familiar with that term ever since we
And that's
talk about
going
your
out
blue
and
ocean.
finding the people you've never had before.
Yeah, well, here we go. This is a new dawn of possibility for the way games are designed.
And that's why I'm very excited. We haven't sat down and talked about streaming and what's happening with Google and Xbox. And that's what I want to do on Gamescast today with you.
Oh my gosh, that Odyssey stream! I'm in and
I can't wait. I can't wait to get your impressions, talk about it, and then actually talk about the historic ramifications where we think it's going to go, because it's pretty terrifying. Not terrifying. It's exhilarating where it's going to go.
World changing.
But that's still so far away, changing the world. Jared, if I wanted to know what came to the mom and grop shops today, where would I go?
I go to the official list of upcoming software across each and every platform is listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah.
Oh, is nobody there to do the yeah?
No, Cool Guy doesn't do the yeah. That's just a Kevin thing.
I think Cool Greg did the yeah one time.
Well, he's not doing it today, all right?
I don't know.
Look at Cool Greg over there. He's
Cool Greg,
not doing it.
what's your yeah like?
I don't do the yeah.
It's
Well,
not a
if you
thing,
were
man.
going to do the yeah, what would it sound like? Yeah, I like that.
So let's get all the non-Switch ones out of the way first, because it's Thursday. So here we go. Coming to Xbox One today, the missing JJ Macfield and the Island of Memories, Pinball Breakout on the 3DS, Triple Breakout on the 3DS, and Petite Zombies on the Wii U.
Did you get Spencer for Xbox One?
Goddamn no. Spencer on Xbox One.
See, this is why you got to go down the list, man. You just got to say Switch over and over.
No, I don't want to do that. And then somebody was like, why don't you put them in platforms? I'm like, that's a pretty good idea, except when there's more cross-play. It doesn't matter. Out today, Battle Group, these are all Switch games from here on out. Battle Group 2, Boom Ball.
The secret sequel to Boom Blocks 2.
I wish.
Yeah.
God. Chasm, of course, friend of the show, Dan Adelman's game. Child of Light Ultimate Edition.
I'm really excited about
Everybody loves
this.
Child of Light.
Yeah, that's, oh my gosh, it's perfect for Switch.
Dungeon Village.
Oh, Kairosoft!
Oh, dude, it's about to get way better for you. Dungeon Village, Feral Fury, Game Dev Story, Hot Springs Story. All the Kairosoft games are coming. But here's where I need to ask Cool Greg to step to the microphone.
Get up there, Cool Greg.
You are a Harry Potter aficionado. You are a huge fan of all things in the Potterverse, correct?
True.
I need, based on title alone, you to declare if this is whack or cool.
Okay.
Out today, Iris School of Wizardry, Vakilium Hearts.
Oh no, it sounds whack.
It sounds whack? Yeah. Give me a Google on that. Let's see if they're just totally ripping off Harry Potter or whatever. Joggernauts on Switch.
That's so terrible.
You're weighing in whack as well.
Juggernauts.
Midoricia, Real Estate. The Swindle finally makes its way to Switch. Tricky Towers.
Tricky Towers.
Yeah, another one people love.
Yeah, that's, have you played that?
No, I had it
That
forever,
is a
but I never did
neat
it.
game.
ACA, Neo Geo, Zupapa.
So that's kind of like Bubble Bobble-ish?
Okay.
Yeah, if you like Bubble Bobble, you might want to check that out.
Art of Balance and Nefarious. Rounding out your list of Switch games. Cool Guy has brought this up here. We are looking at the School of Wizardry. It's giving off a visual novel feel so far. No gameplay in there. Just the visual novel look of things are hopping around.
Yeah, if you're looking, wow, yeah, that is kind of a visual. If you're looking for a good 4-player Switch game for friends so you can play instantly, Tricky Towers. That'd be a great party mode game.
Is that the balancing one?
That's the balancing one. Yeah,
okay. It was on PS4 forever.
Yeah,
though,
it
right?
was. That is a great party mode game.
Okay.
That'd be a good one for y'all to do.
Okay. Andy! I'll tell him.
Also,
by yelling his name,
if you've never played Game Dev Story or Dungeon Village and you like any kind of management sim, play them.
Are you Andy?
Oh, I didn't hear what you yelled. I just heard.
I was very clearly Andy, not just.
The door's closed. We're having a full-on conversation.
Tell
Andy!
Hey, can you come in here, please, and put some package?
I kind of yelled into the mic there. People are probably really
Come on right here in the
about
middle.
that. Okay, this is even better.
Andy, today Tricky Towers came to Switch, and Jared says it's an excellent party mode game we should all play.
Towers is great. Yeah.
Okay, well, we should play it on party mode then, you know? Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Andy, when are you going to invite me to party mode?
I'm thinking.
He's in the middle of a conversation.
That's a good question, Jared. I'm glad you're asking. I'm glad we're having the conversation.
Wow, that is every email I've ever received telling me that no, we are not going to sponsor your show.
God, you look great. You were born to wear a Ghostbusters costume, I'll tell you right now.
Now I want you. Is that too tight? Because I think.
No, that looks great. Is this one of the female ones?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
I think you can take the pants off and the shirt off and the underwear off underneath it though.
All right, that's enough of that. If you didn't know, if you didn't see, we spent $600 on Ghostbusters gear for... yeah, and they sent us some free stuff too.
You didn't want to buy a Framemeister. You spent $600 on Proton Packs and Ghostbuster suit, but we wouldn't buy a Framemeister?
Hey, man, listen, you know what I mean? There's only so much money to go around in the budget. We're doing a Ghostbusters World sponsored Let's Play coming up soon, and patreon.com/kindafunny October's fan mail is a Ghostbuster photo art print of us busting ghosts together. So we have a whole bunch of stuff in there, costume changing in there. You'll see the unboxing over my Instagram today whenever I have time to break it up, because I thought Instagram TV let you put up videos as long as you want. Turns out they're just 10 minutes.
Oh!
So I have to take like a 30-minute video and break it into 3 chunks.
That's no fun.
I digress. New dates for you. Earthfall gets DLC called Invasion on October 30th on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Gal Metal is coming to Switch on October 30th. Cities Skylines Industries Inbound is on PC October 23rd, along with the Synthetic Dawn Radio and new free update. Jackbox Party Pack 5 is on Jackbox Party Pack 5 is on PlayStation 4 October 16th, and The Persistence, that PlayStation VR game, gets a free update that's apparently huge according to the PlayStation blog on October 18th.
I posit this question to you, Greg Miller. So when you see a title like Cities Skylines Industries Inbound, do you think maybe video games are running out of names? Like back in the day when cars were new, it's like Jaguar or Falcon, and now they're like Aspire, or like cars have like names that are conceptual and no longer cool. Are video games just running out of names?
Yes, I do think video games are running out of names. I don't think this is the most glaring example. Today it's a pretty good example, but usually when we read the new release list and it's just like circular triangle, like, oh my God, we're just shoving together any word we can right now.
Yeah, I worry
it's the old
about this a
Beyond
lot.
joke of like looking around a room and being like, there's a doorknob, there's a light switch, knob switch. Knob switch is what our game's called, because we're like,
how does Untitled Goose Game, which by the way looks awesome, become a great title for a video game?
because it's making fun of everything else.
Yeah,
and that's the
and that
great
works.
part. Deals of the day for you. Jared put this one on there, and the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, Joy-Con, and great games are on sale at Walmart right now. This is by Seth G. Macy at IGN. My main man, Jared writes, but spells it Maine as the state.
That's right. M-A-I-N-E. Seth Macy, the best commerce writer in the industry right now. Seth's articles about selling you things are better than most articles about not selling you things. He is a ridiculously good writer. Read his commerce articles. They're really, really entertaining.
So Walmart currently has a sale then on the Pro Controller, Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, Splatoon 2, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Fuck. I still have Captain Toad loaded on my Captain Toad loaded.
That's a Trump slip right there.
Yeah,
I think when you got to that just kind of
loaded on my Switch, and I haven't booted up. I gotta get on that. Kirby Star Allies, South Park: The Fractured Butthole, and Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
all that's on sale right now.
That's all great stuff.
Yeah.
I sign off on all that. Time for reader mail, but first I'm going to tell you it's brought to you by Brooklinen. If you didn't know, I sleep on Brooklinen sheets and I love them. Why do I love them? They're super comfortable, they're cheap, and they were easy to get because you went to the site, you clicked on the buttons, you saw the different color combinations, I picked my color, my comforter, and it was great, and it was awesome, and I love it. Brooklinen sheets have been named the winner of the Best of Online Bedding category by Good Housekeeping, and they have a small business approach, from being run by a husband and wife to being involved in every step of the manufacturing process, to a customer service team that cares so much they remember the customers by name. Brooklinen is the fastest growing bedding brand in the world with over 20,000 5-star reviews. They have different colors and materials to choose from, and these are the best, most comfortable sheets I've ever slept on. Brooklinen.com is giving an exclusive offer to my listeners. Get $20 off and free shipping when you use promo code GAMES at Brooklinen.com. Brooklinen is so sure you'll love your new sheets that they offer a risk-free 60-night satisfaction guarantee and a lifetime warranty on all of their sheets and comforters.
Greg, what comes between you and your Brooklinen?
Nothing. The only way to get $20 off and free shipping is to use promo code GAMES at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com. Promo code GAMES, Brooklinen. These really are the best sheets ever. Where do I want to start on this? Let's start with All Paul. All Paul writes in to kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, "What's up, KFGD crew? So I, like Greg and Big Kev Dog, have been on the hype train of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. My question is, how do you feel about the switch to such ancient times where the games were moving forward into the 18th and 19th centuries and then all of a sudden drop back to BCE times? Do you think there are better worlds that fit the Assassin's Creed in these times, or was it just? It wasn't until the PKE meter got so fucking loud. I appreciate too. Yesterday we had a conversation where it was, oh man, like, you know, morning show's too chaotic, and you're like, I love that Greg on Games Daily has a thing where nobody's allowed to interrupt, and then today you walk in full Ghostbuster gear, and you know I can't get mad. You're dressed as a Ghostbuster.
Who am I? Which movie is
That was Ghostbusters 1, you're Egon at the Sedgwick Hotel.
I collect mold, spores, and fungus.
You look great, Nick. You were born to wear this stuff.
I think it
telling
says funguses, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It should be fungi. He would know fungi.
He would, yeah. But
Why
it's back in
did
the
he not say it
80s.
wrong?
At the 80s, they had it different. Do you think there are better worlds that fit Assassin's Creed in these times, or was it just in line with their plans to restart the franchise? Also, what is your prediction for the next Assassin's Creed game? I think we're due for a medieval Europe run, or fully go off the rails and go to Atlantis. Shout out to the best team in the business, All Paul. So, Jared.
Yeah.
We've talked about you were holding off on Assassin's Creed
Yep.
till you got in the Google thing. You're
Right.
in the Google thing, so you're barely starting it.
Yeah,
not even
I'm
worth
very
mentioning.
early in. Right.
You also said that, ancient Greece, your jam.
Yep.
How do you come down at what he's talking about? Assassin's Creed was moving forward, right? Syndicate was, industrial age Europe or whatever,
Yeah.
England. How do you feel about them going all the way back?
I think they made a smart choice. They wanted to disassociate themselves from a series that was seen as failing and growing stale. They knew they needed a radical change in game design. They needed to take some time off. They were going to lean more RPG. They were going to leave some of the, I think, lore heaviness behind and focus more like Black Flag did on what made the game actually fun to play.
Yeah.
As opposed to the storyline that a lot of the players, frankly, didn't care all that much
Sure,
about.
the Templars and the
Others did.
Assassins.
I'm not discounting that, but they decided to de-emphasize it for a while compared to other parts of it. And I think most important of all, they remembered that stabbing is more fun than shooting when you built your engines around stabbing.
Sure.
And the closer you get to the industrial age, the harder it is to find excuses because guns, frankly, beat knives in those fights. And
Sure.
so rather than create an engine around firearms, which they could have done, but then you're playing Deus Ex, they said, now let's go back in time and create a world where we can stab things. Plus, Ubisoft is in a very unique position. They own the giant, historic, epic, 10 Commandments, swords and sandals, Roman Empire world right now for video game making. They've carved that out. So lean in and own it. And I think that they're going to do that for a while.
Yeah. Why did they do it? Why? I mean,
because they could. Because it was novel and unique, and because nobody else could. They were the only people I can think of, outside of somebody like Rockstar that has a different emphasis right now, that were well positioned to make a historical epic series. That already, what made Assassin's Creed work? History, sneaking and stabbing, climbing, and fun. And they're like, let's build a game around that. Let's take Black Flag, everything that worked from that, and combine it with the kind of grindy RPG open world that we know people enjoy. And they nailed it.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm very early in Odyssey. I'm really enjoying it so far. And I think I'm going to love it. Even with all the Ubisoft jank that comes with it.
Yeah.
And I said Ubi because it's fun to say Ubi instead of Ubi.
Do whatever you want. Don't let them hold you down.
Well, every time, you know what it is? Every time I say Ubi, I think UB40, and then that just takes me down to red wine, and then I think that's why I do it.
I hear you on there. I think I would like to imagine it was that they sat down and did everything you just talked about. What stories do we want to tell? Where do we want to tell them? What fits our game, right? In terms of, they've talked about taking another year off. Awesome. Great. Yeah. Do that. And where should they come back? I feel like now more than ever, they're primed to do the Japan game.
Yeah.
The one everyone's wanted forever. The problem, of course, is that I feel like you run into, and not that it's a huge problem, but Ghost of Tsushima is out there.
Yeah.
And is going to be doing that game too. So
and maybe they wait 2 more years to do that.
Exactly.
Maybe they push that one forward a little, because I do think like Nobunaga era Japan would be an incredible place to put a game. Another thing they might think about, Ubisoft being a very worldwide oriented studio, So Koei has done Romance of the Three Kingdoms for 6,000 years, and Dynasty Warriors for 6,000 years, and
What
they make
Dynasty
games
Warriors are
about
we
that.
on now?
But Romance of the Three Kingdoms is an incredible epic, and Chinese history is very, very distinct and ripe for this kind of story. I think a China-based game instead of a Japan-based game would be pretty darn spectacular. They could totally build on that. That would be an amazing world to explore that has not been overdone by Western games. Also, I think one set in India, like in post, or to use the word medieval would be incorrect, but set in ancient India would be extraordinary. I think you could build an incredible game around that.
Those are great examples. Yeah, I want Japan, but I've wanted Japan forever. But
I want Japan too. But
I also just feel like I don't know history well enough to tell you where it's an interesting spot, right? Whereas, like, I sit down and I play these games and I'm just fucking in love with them, right? And like, especially Odyssey, where I'm just like enraptured.
Well, building something around the Han or building something around Nobunaga. I used to live like 30 miles from Nobunaga's house, and that part of Japanese history, doing like the pre-Tokugawa Japan, that story is so epic and Game of Thronesy and betrayal oriented and just perfect for this. But just because we know a lot about it, because American Japanese popular culture in the 80s and 90s leaned that way, doesn't mean that's the only story to tell. They sort of reminded the world that Antony ever happened in their last, and now with this, likewise, like, oh, by the way, remember the Peloponnesian War? Earth is full of these unbelievable stories like this, and what you could do with something like the Turkish Battle of Lepanto or something like that. It'd be incredible. I'd love to play one set during the Russo-Japanese War, the early 20th century. That would be an amazing Assassin's Creed.
All right. Dennis writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, with the resurgence of game streaming, I thought I'd share my experience with PlayStation 4 Remote Play. As you know, the running theme of this week has been these streaming services. Google, Xbox, we're going to talk about those on Gamescast. But I also yesterday was kind of like, I know people have brought up that Remote Play exists for PlayStation, streaming it to your Vita, obviously streaming it to the PC program. But I remember it being janky when it launched, and I haven't heard much about it. Dennis writes in with a first-hand, lengthy report that I'm going to jump through, and I've already edited, but I'm going to edit even more on the fly. Dennis says, I bought the new 13-inch MacBook Pro last month for school and general use, so I could get the Switch experience with a computer, and it reminded me of the PlayStation 4 Remote app on Mac, also on Windows. I tried playing Tomb Raider Definitive Edition in preparation for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and to my surprise, the experience was nearly flawless. The lag is extremely minor, barely noticeable in games with a similar or slower pace than Tomb Raider. The game feels very responsive, and I wouldn't say my playing performance in the game is any worse when streaming compared to playing natively on my PlayStation 4 at home. Since I don't have a PlayStation 4 Pro, I can only play stream in 720p, and I would say that's my biggest complaint. The game definitely has a softer look to them because of the lower resolution. The biggest issue so far is that occasionally, but very rarely, there will be a buffering issue that makes the stream drop to a low frame rate for around 3 seconds. But again, these are surprisingly rare, and since I'm streaming single-player games on it, it's easy to just pause the game or idle and wait for it to go stable again. I haven't timed it, but I'd imagine I've played for at least 10 minutes straight without a drop, possibly even more. I personally think that the rare 3-second frame rate drop is a fine trade-off for the portability and convenience that it gives me. One thing to note is that I do live on campus, so my PlayStation 4 isn't too far away when I stream from school, which is the only place I've tried so far. I don't play during class, by the way, just on breaks and after hours. You're a good student, Dennis. Good job. I'm really excited to try it for longer distance in the future and see what happens. So in conclusion, while game streaming can obviously still improve, the issues present, at least for me, are minor enough that the good greatly outweighs the bad. And I'm no longer hesitant to buy games for my PlayStation 4. If any kind of funny fellow best friends have a laptop that they carry around all the time, try this out for yourself. It's really quite magical. Sorry for the long post, but I wanted to cover all the details, Dennis. No, Dennis, thank you for writing in and giving us that report.
The winner of this battle, I think, will be most likely the one who manages to take those minor issues that Dennis mentioned about the lag time, about the buffer drops and stuff like that, and make those problems disappear. The winner will be the person that will be the party that changes expectations.
Yeah.
We're all expecting it to kind of work. The moment it just works and we forget that we're streaming until there's an actual network connection break.
Right.
Will be the moment that we all hop in and accept this thing. Just before we came on camera, we were in the back room on my Google Chromebook.
Yeah.
That has trouble keeping like 4 browser windows with ads running open at the same time. And we were on this, I paid $100 for this book several years ago.
Yeah.
It has 2 gigs of RAM. It has effectively a glorified cell phone processor in it.
Yeah.
And we were playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey on it.
Right.
And you couldn't really tell the difference.
Yeah. I'm excited to get you. The controller wasn't hooked up. You were using
Yeah.
the keyboard. I'm excited to get a controller and feel it myself and see what it is.
So my if somebody reaches a point where they're consistently delivering that experience without the little buffers, without the little hiccups and expectations, that's what it's going to take to collectively change our minds from this will never work, from what I think of in my head as real player syndrome.
Yeah.
Remember real player?
Yeah.
Buffering, to it just plugs in and works. Then it'll be like when load times on old PlayStation 1 discs became what load times are on modern consoles and effectively ignorable in most
And
cases.
that's the thing about it, whereas I think my remote play experience is pretty much limited to when the Vita really first launched. I remember, or maybe PlayStation 4 first launched alongside the Vita, whatever it was. I remember playing Black Fat Flag from, I was in Seattle playing it over an internet connection down to San Francisco. And I was doing it and it would work fine for a while, and then it would do that thing where it kind of like the paint smeared. You know what I mean? Like somebody moves, but it like stays behind him. I was like, oosh.
Yeah.
And so I played it enough to like, I was farming materials, I think, while I was in the boat or whatever, but that was it. And so when they launched the app for PC and stuff, that's never really spoken to me for the most part, because when I'm on the go, I'm going to, whatever. The office, I have my PS4, and when I'm on the go, I'm usually on shitty hotel internet connection, so I haven't even tried it, right? And it's also the fact that it's windowed to an app. Whereas what gets me excited about Google Chrome, right, is like, it's a Chrome browser tab where I'm already using it. And then, of course, the promise of one day being on everything. Xbox and Project, or Xstream, right? Or Project X, whatever the hell it's called. I screw it up all the time. They're on every screen, right? Every device just has a controller connected to it. All that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that everything you're saying here resonates with me. And again, we're going to talk about this more on Gamescast, so I don't want to overdo it. But I do think that the difference maybe with Google or one of the other three parties that might get involved in this, even over Microsoft, is that they largely control the infrastructure.
Yep.
We don't like to talk about hardware because hardware's not fun, but effectively we're just transferring the burden of the hardware creation from our PS4, our Xbox, our computer to the backbone, to the internet.
Yeah.
Well, we don't think about who owns the internet, who builds the internet, who runs the internet as a physical thing.
Yeah.
Google's one of the very few parties that can build an infrastructure that effectively acts like a giant console for all of us. And I look at what I've seen on my home computer and my Chromebook and go, I think they may have done it.
We'll see. Gamescast, more for this. Thank you, Dennis, though, for your report on remote play. Remember, if you ever hear me say something like, I don't have much experience with it, I'd love for you guys to write in with detailed reports. Shredberg writes in and says, I just spent a good amount of time with Astrobot, and it is as good as advertised. Probably one of the best exclusive platformers on PlayStation 4. However, there was one takeaway, sort of ancillary, to the game that I couldn't shake. I feel like controls with VR games right now are just boring. VR has the potential to change the way we play games, especially with added in control methods of head tracking and potentially body tracking. My view is that additional body control is how gaming can add additional agency to gameplay through making yourself the controller. However, other than a couple of games, particularly Beat Saber, I haven't found many games where head tracking actually adds agency. The ability to adjust the camera while using dual motion control is a novel idea, but right now it is being used almost primarily to look, which is not a new or novel feature of games. When I played Astrobot, I didn't go in thinking I hadn't played anything like it. I left thinking this reminded me of a Nintendo game with head tracking, which I could take or leave entirely as always. Anyways, actually, my question is this. Am I being overly critical of VR games? Am I just missing all the VR games that use body/head tracking for more than just looking? My issue is that while I feel like we have gotten great games in VR, I've only played a couple of great VR games, or ones that could only really be played in VR. Shredberg.
Okay, so video games went through a period early in their history when they were just becoming commercial products. After they'd become hobbyists, but before we had programmable consoles like the Atari VCS or the Fairchild Channel F, where there were only a few video games. The entire world of possibility was open.
Yeah.
The technology to make all kinds of games was there.
Yeah.
And yet mostly what we got was Pong, Tank, Breakout, driving, and variations on those. It took imaginations a while to catch up with what was really possible when you wired chips, screens, and controls together.
Sure.
I feel like we're in that stage in VR right now.
Yeah.
Where the potential is there, the palette is there, all the paint is there, all the brushes are there, but we haven't quite rewired our brains for everything that's possible on the creative side. And we're getting closer, and we're getting closer, and then one day we're going to have that Space Invaders moment where the world blows up and then we get Space Invaders, Defender, and Pac-Man, and Asteroids, all within like 4 years of each other.
Sure.
4 vastly different games with vastly different approaches to how you control things. And suddenly we're like, wow, video games could be anything.
Yeah.
That took almost a decade.
And I feel like what's crazy is I don't feel like we're that far off for VR.
Yeah.
Where I do feel like the fact that we're still talking about PlayStation VR in a positive light, VR in general, but PlayStation VR in the point of this conversation in a positive light is great. The fact that Astrobot, which again is a game I came out of Judgment Week, I was like, this game's great, everybody should try it, you know what I mean? And people enjoyed enough there but didn't talk about, is getting reviews and write-ups on major sites from people going like, yeah, this is an awesome game, this is a big deal. The fact that PlayStation's smart enough to take it in Moss and bundle it together now and put that out as a bundle of 2 of the best PlayStation VR games. But Astrobot, Moss, Firewall, Beat Saber, like
Tetris VR.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on Tetris. There are these games that are coming or here that it's like, oh wow, we're on a good clip here. There's a lot of good stuff
here. The
here.
PSVR is now a justified purchase.
Yeah. And so to your question, Dennis, I don't think you're being overly critical. You're being critical in a way of like, hey, guess what? These are still the first steps. You know what I mean? I love it. I played the first World Astrobot. I'll give you impressions on Gamescast today. And I enjoyed it, but like I think it's a bridge too far and sets the bar a bit too high to be like, it's the Super Mario 64 moment. And I'm like, yeesh, it's really good, and I think it does a great job of showing you how you can take a traditional platform and put it into VR and have it be cool. But I thought Moss did something very similar to it in terms of like traditional controls, you understand, and here's the VR layer to it. In terms of head tracking stuff, you mentioned Beat Saber. Beat Saber's fucking amazing. I cannot wait for Beat Saber to make its way to PlayStation VR. On top of that, super hot. Super hot, like, isn't just tracking you for shits and gigs. Like, you have to move your head around to dodge bullets in slow motion to do all these different things, or to lift your knife and slice the bullets in half.
I think we reached the place, Greg, I think you'd agree with this, where if we made a top 10 list of VR games, none of them would feel like stretches anymore.
Sure.
It would be 10.
You're not gonna get to 8 and 9 and 10 and be like, oh, this is good enough for this list.
Yeah, it'd be like, hey, these are 10 great games that you can play in VR right now. Go out and buy your PSVR, buy these 10 games, and you're gonna feel like, wow, I made a great purchase.
Right. Yeah. So it's interesting. I don't think you're being overly critical. I think you're just there, and I think you're going to continue to see us be there and continue to see these games build on the momentum they're seeing right now. Blood and Truth being another one coming up soon that's going to be awesome. Robert Parker writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, hello, KFGD hosts. I am a member of the Army, and I'm getting deployed soon. Since deployments are boring as hell 80% of the time, I've recently bought a Nintendo Switch since it's portable. I have never been a Nintendo person, so what games do you think I should get? I love RPGs and action games.
Well, then you've picked a good platform.
Get that Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, get that
Get on Octopath Traveler.
Get Octopath Traveler. I recommend Child of Light now that it's out.
Yeah.
It's shorter than most RPGs, but it's a really good one that's perfect for Switch.
Obviously, Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild. Super Mario Odyssey.
Super Mario Odyssey are essential. Both of those games are just as good as everyone says they are.
Grab some extra controllers or Joy-Cons and grab Mario Kart. Take that with you.
And honestly, if you're going to be in a barracks, Bomberman. 4-player Bomberman with 4 Joy-Cons would be a great one to have. Songbringer's a lot of fun. I think that'd be a really good one to pick at if you kind of like Zelda-ish stuff.
Mario Party right now, I mean, is goofy and fun, but I think you in a barracks you're going to need some goofy, fun, stupid stuff.
Bomberman, right? Mario Party, Crawl, which you can get very cheaply. That's a great 4-player game.
Awesome. We just put up a party mode on youtube.com/kindoffunny.
You guys did Crawl on party mode?
Yeah.
Didn't invite me?
No. Again, Nick doesn't like you. Or is it you don't like Nick? I forget what the joke was.
Andy ran party mode.
He does, but like again,
I thought Andy liked me.
I don't know if you know this about Andy. Very flighty. He's a beautiful flake over there. You know what I mean? He stays up till 5 a.m. He wakes up. He comes in here all disheveled. Nobody knows what's going on.
I'm really starting to think that there's some unwarranted anti-Jared.
Well, I think it's warranted for sure.
Okay.
But what you need to do is pick the games. You say, here are the games we need to do for party mode, right?
I think I recommended Crawl to Andy.
Well, you do it, and you're like, here's you go over to his desk. You're like, here's games we need to do for party mode. When's the next party mode? I'm bringing in my thing. We're all gonna play these games.
I see. Okay.
If you take the agency away from him.
Are you saying take the initiative? Mm-hmm. I would never want to walk in and try to just hold a coup d'etat on Andy's birthday.
He wouldn't care.
Why am I whining about this right here, right now?
Because it'll get things done.
Probably will.
Those are all great games.
Yeah.
I like Valkyria Chronicles, but it's a war game, and you're in war, so I don't know if you want to be doing that too.
Yeah, Valkyria Chronicles is pretty. I mean, this is a platform with. We've had a few pretty good ones, but there's a lot more.
Games.
If you like old style RPGs, oh crap! Now I've forgotten the name of it. It looks like a Square Enix game. It's about a super spy. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of this game I've played.
Kindoffunny.com/you're wrong, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, it's the really fun one by the people who make Cthulhu Saves the World. Cosmic Star Heroine took me a second.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
a good like square type RPG with a really neat combat system. You might enjoy that a
Oh,
lot.
Andy would say Hyper Light Drifter, especially for action game stuff.
There's so many good games on this console. So I mean, we're just throwing a few out there right now.
You can't go wrong, except for some of the games that are really bad. But
yeah. But those are all good points to start. But you do have to play both Zelda and Mario. They are essential.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Time to squad up. This is where one of you writes in to kindoffunny.com/KFGD with your questions, comments, concerns, bad PSN names. You can also squad up there. I don't know why I keep screwing this up day after day. I wasn't even drunk today. Squad up, you write in with your name, username, platform of choice, and why you need help in a video game. I read it here. The best friends come and find you. Today, at Shrouded_gaming on Twitter. You can check his pin tweet for Discord and website link. Needs help on PC? This is a squad up success story as well as a squad up. So last October 2017, I wrote into KFGD with a Destiny 2 squad up. It started a chain reaction of craziness. 1 year later and 4,000 members later, we stand as the Shrouded gaming community that stands on the legs of what you helped us build by a simple shout out. I got the idea to write in this time because of all the Destiny 2 squad ups I've heard lately. Our Destiny division consists of 20 clans full of active Destiny 2 PC players. That's around 2,000 active Guardians on PC that would love to team up with all the solo Kinda Funny best friends that need someone to play with. Go to @Shrouded_gaming on Twitter and follow the links I pinned as a tweet. Oh, and they say you don't need to read this part. Yep. They play other games and all that shit. Shrouded Gaming, congratulations on all the success there. I'm glad
it's a
Squad
success
helped you.
story. Look at that.
Yay! Time for a new segment making its debut after being mentioned yesterday. These are the worst PlayStation names ever. As you know, Shuhei Yoshida no longer hates you and is going to allow you to change your PlayStation Network username. However, as we sunset the ability to have bad PSN names, we thought we'd read one every day. A bad PSN name.
So I've been reading through these in the spreadsheet.
They're bad.
It's hard. I wanted to post them all in here. These stories are amazing.
So before we get to Joey, who has the worst PSN name ever, we're going to start with Jericho, of course, fan of the show, but Kinda Funny best friend, all over the place. Used to assemble all the questions for PS I Love You, XOXO. Jericho writes in and says, yesterday, we had the biggest news in gaming history. PSN name changes are happening. Prices look fine. I'll use the change one for free. I love it. Yada, yada, yada. Now, back in PS I Love You XOXO days, I had collected all the names you, Greg, picked on the show and let best friends decide which name was the worst bad PSN name of them all. If you remember this, yes, Jericho gathered all the questions, then recorded all the bad PSN names, and then had people vote on it. The winner of year one was not gay, but $5 is $5. But I wouldn't count this as it is clearly a Rocket League PC player. This was the other problem, of course, is that people could play on Rocket League and then they could make their names whatever, and then it got into a whole hullabaloo.
Oh, that's just
right behind that guy or girl was come honor, like for honor, come honor chest _.
Oh.
A real PSN name. And then my personal favor is Cooter Intruder. Parentheses, we never let the best friends vote for a year 2 winner. Those are some of the worst ones that were voted on that were read on PS I Love You XOXO in the old days.
I've given up on humanity.
A lot of horrible names right there.
These are really
a lot
bad.
of really bad names.
Yeah,
there.
this is.
So thank you, Jericho, for the callback to the original bad. Well, not even the original. I guess the original was on Podcast Beyond, but from PS I Love You XO. But let's start anew here.
I
the
thought
worst
the
PSN
chicken
names
was
ever.
bad. I thought the
no,
chicken
it gets
was
worse,
bad.
dude.
Oh.
We're all depraved, horrible people here. Joey writes in and says, bad PSN name. Back in the day, my brother and I received a PSP as a shared birthday present. I was 12 and he was 15. Both eager to take advantage of everything the system had to offer, we signed up for the PlayStation Network. Neither of us had any bright ideas for a username, so we pulled one off a sticky note stuck to the shared family computer. Turns out that name was the password to my parents' bank account, and you can imagine their horrified look when they saw it years later when I was playing with dozens of other people online in Resistance 2. Thank you, Shuhei, for finally letting my parents rest easy.
That's so good.
That was a different vein of a bad PSN name. Usually, yeah, they're like, here's some horrible fucking thing I wrote as a 12-year-old when I didn't understand anything. Now here's one of like, I took off a sticky note my parents'
password. That's beautiful.
Cool, Greg, the iPad's missing. Do you know where it is?
Oh, sorry, man.
No, it's fine. I just need to do You're Wrong. Of course, we ask everybody watching live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames to go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up. so we can set the record straight. For everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and listening on podcast services around the globe.
I'm looking at the monitor, Greg. How am I taller than you today?
I lower the chair. I like to keep people guessing how tall I really am.
You're significantly taller than me, so it's odd.
Kebabs writes in. As soon as I did. Oh, it's back now. Kebab writes in and says, from Wikipedia, the common cold, also known simply as a cold, is a viral infectious disease.
There we go. Kebabs.
I don't.
Laying down the truth
my
bombs.
doctor, that's Cool Greg MD over there, doesn't agree, and I don't know who to believe in anymore.
You know, I don't think Cool Greg as a sawbone's not. I like Cool Greg. I respect Cool Greg's abilities. I'm not sure I'd want Cool Greg performing surgery on me.
Man, Cool Greg can do whatever you want to me. Kebabs also wrote in a few ones later, missed a story from yesterday. Insomniac announced their new game, Seedling. It's yet another in their line of VR titles, but this game is exclusive to mixed reality headset Magic Leap 1. It's a game where you look after an alien life form who exists on a fixed location.
I was kind of hoping Seedling would be like a secret sequel to Harvest Moon. That was, I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Yep. But it's not.
Oh, we missed a news story from Gamatsu, but I'm reading if it's worthy because it's not that we curate the news.
Yeah, we curate the
news. Oh, okay. I'll read this one.
What's this
Dane
one?
says Gamatsu's story about Nintendo re-releasing the original Legend of Zelda on the Switch, but with all the items unlocked and a lot of rupees in an effort to make the old game more accessible to those newer to the Legend of Zelda series.
Didn't that happen yesterday?
Yeah, but we didn't talk about it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I would have put that in if I had realized we
Well,
hadn't talked about it
maybe you should
yesterday.
fucking look at the old rundowns. They're there. You know what I mean? You
maybe
have
I should.
access to them.
Maybe I should.
You're just so fucking bent out of shape about party mode and Nick that you can't even do your job.
It's Andy. I'm not mad at Nick.
We should be mad at Nick though.
Is Nick saying mean things?
No, he's not. Zaire says a new date, Zarovt, is launching October 18th on Switch. Zarovt. Good for them.
But yeah, have you seen the Zelda thing? It is weird.
No.
So it's pretty much like Nintendo's effectively selling you a ROM hack, or giving you a ROM hack, and it's Zelda, but you start with like the blue ring and the white sword and 255 rupees and a lot of the equipment.
Interesting. That's really weird.
Yeah. Get good.
Zaire says, swear he says we missed a game. The Missing, JJ Macfield, and the Island of Memories is out today on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch, and Steam.
I think you read that.
I thought so, but
I'm pretty sure you read that.
I didn't see it here.
It's on your list.
Is it?
Yeah, it's on there.
But I missed it?
I don't know.
Oh, no, there it is. I wrote, I did.
But you were doing that jump around thing.
Oh, I see. I only read it as Xbox One.
Got it.
He's saying Steam, Switch, and PlayStation 4
Okay,
also.
there we go. That's helpful. Thank you for that. Tell you what. How could you miss the Zelda story? I don't know. Just begging me to clean up your mess. I'll tell you what. Yep.
Everybody's calling out that the Assassin's Creed Chronicles were in India, China, and Russia. We want a real fucking game. And Zaire says, deal of the day for movie buffs. Rocky 1 through 5, The Terminator 1, and Hackers are all free on YouTube.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Chronicles just mostly made me want to play that cool Blood Rain game on 360 again.
Oh, yeah.
That game was good.
That was a good one, yeah.
That was a really good game. That was way better than it had any business being.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show, kindoffunny.com/KFGD. Watch it later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Watch it live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. And listen on podcast services around the globe. We'll be back this afternoon with a live recording of the Kind of Funny Games cast. Me, Jared, Sam from GameSpot. You can get that at patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. If you miss it live, you can get it on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames tomorrow. And if you don't want to pay any money for it and support the show, no big deal. You can go to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames on Monday, or podcast services around the globe on Monday. Get it then there too. Tomorrow's host for Kind of Funny Games Daily is GameSpot's Lucy James.
Woohoo!
It's a GameSpot invasion. But until then, it's been our pleasure to serve you.